Paso a Paso podcast.
Welcome to another edition of the Paso a Paso podcast. My name is Miles, and happy to be back here with you, having another in-person meeting, which is extremely exciting because it breaks the mold and no more Zoom with the worst audio, and it's more fun. So hopefully it'll be more fun for you to listen to as well. I'm here with Christina, and perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself.
Hi, so my name is Christina Porteo. I am the Children's Trust Fund Coordinator, and we're also known in the community as Taos Loves Kids.
Wonderful. And Taos Loves Kids, I've learned in the last few years when I've really been paying attention, has actually a long history of providing classes and opportunities for community members to participate in. The thing about it is that it's actually welcoming of a wide variety of adults and beyond. How would you characterize what Taos Loves Kids as far as because the scope of what you offer is really large?
So I think Taos Loves Kids has evolved throughout the years as coordinators come in and take it over. They pretty much make it their own, I think. And for me, we rewrote and were able to get granted for 4 more years, and we did a few changes. One of the biggest changes was opening it up from 0 to age 18. And doing a dual track of any class that was given in the community was also going to be offered in Spanish. So that was one of the biggest things that was changed and crucial to be able to support the diversity in the community.
Through this more recent grant, as I understand it, there's already been one cycle of classes, and now you're gearing up for the second, is that right?
Yes, so our year is broken up into 2 quarters, and the first one starts in January and ends now in June. And we were able to offer, I think, 10 classes and 2 groups for that first quarter. For next quarter, which starts in August and ends in December, we're going to be able to offer 5 classes and 2 of the groups.
Wow. And so just personally, I was happy and had a great experience. I'm glad it went well doing the Father's class. Also through Taos Live, I know Monica Trujillo was hosting one with teens. What other classes have recently happened and or will be happening again?
So for the first quarter, we were able to offer Circle Security, Love and Logic, Parenting with Emotional Intelligence, Nurturing Fathers class, Nurturing Parenting Childbirth Prep class, and a teen parent group, as well as a grandparents group. Next semester quarter, we're doing another father's class, a Love and Logic in Spanish, Circle Security, Nurturing Parenting Childbirth Prep, and an EQ, as well as the 2 groups for the teen parents and grandparents raising grandchildren. That's
a ton, and it feels and sounds very comprehensive. That term, just to touch on it real quick, EQ is something that's spoken about a lot in our circles and in Taos and at the schools. And is that related to emotional intelligence? Is that kind of it's like a play on IQ, right? EQ is like an emotional IQ kind of?
So Parenting with Emotional Intelligence, is able to provide parents with strategies to better support their children's social and emotional development by recognizing emotions, increasing self-awareness, compassion, and by handling feelings in a healthy way.
So it's primarily about kind of not only what you do as a parent, but how you go about it and how to kind of stay connected with everyone's emotions. Because, a lot of times, myself as a parent, and obviously in other parents too, there's plenty of times where we'll get mad at our kid for something, but it might be because we're actually mad at ourselves about it, right? So it's good to check in with where is this coming from and what am I actually trying to teach this person and all that. So as we kind of alluded to, there's tons of opportunities. I love that you were able to expand the age range of the children that are being raised by the folks that end up taking these classes. You cover classes for grandparents and various perspectives on parenting in general, classes in Spanish, super important. And is this first cycle over, or are there some that are still going on?
So EQ is our last class for this quarter, and it starts today and ends July 20th. That is 5 classes. And because the pandemic is just now shifting, I guess, throughout the state's reopening, based on the requirements and restrictions that are still out there, we're deciding to keep all our classes for the rest of the year over Zoom, just to give families in the community the access and availability to be in their own space while the children are still at home with them.
And as far as the Taos Loves Kids, I think it's great that you have the flyers are consistent, right? So it's a real brand thing. I think in Taos, a lot of times we have there's flyers everywhere all the time, right? I mean, there's certain places you can put them. This is close to my heart because I used to do music stuff in other cities, and I'm like, there aren't many places to flyer. But to get back on track, in Taos, the Taos Loves Kids flyers are like half page. They kind of fade from white to blue. It says Taos Loves Kids up top, and then it has all the content. I mean, is that important, you think, to reaching people as far as the way things look? Or how do you really spread the word? Because it's not that easy sometimes around here to get people to know about what's available to them.
So our flyers were created by the initial coordinator of the program, I believe. And it, like I said, it's evolved. There used to be little giraffes on it, but because we have opened it from 0 to 18, I feel, change needed to happen. And the only change I did on those flyers was to put butterflies, and butterflies, represent change, evolve, growth. And so they are very colorful. And to me, color is what attracts the eyes and makes people want to really pay attention and read it. So we are able to put these flyers out on any community boards throughout Taos County. We share these over email with every agency that we currently are connected to. And, the facilitators themselves who are facilitating these classes are able to pick these up and hand them out to any families that they are connected to in the community.
As this EQ class you said that's going on now is going to wrap up, maybe we should just jump into what the classes are that are going to be offered in the fall, maybe talk a little about each one briefly, and also how can people sign up if they're interested in learning more about these things?
So Parenting with Emotional Intelligence does start today, and it is 5 classes. They're an hour and a half long. Each class that we offer is an hour and a half. Parenting with Emotional Intelligence, like I said, just gives you, it supports parents to better support their children's emotions during parenting. It is a great class. It is very demanded, I guess, in the community, and I think this is where the community is really shifting to, is to be able to start supporting the parents in the community with this logic or this sense of awareness, to be able to parent in such a way that we are really paying attention to our children's emotions, the impact it has on them, how that, during emotional development, how that also impacts them, and recognizing and increasing self-awareness. So that's a really great class. For next quarter, we are going to do the Nurturing Parenting Fathers class. And Miles is my facilitator for that class, so I'm so excited.
Yep. It was fun. I learned a lot. I mean, I did go to a training to learn about the Nurturing Parenting curriculum, and then I chose some things out of a workbook that I thought might be a good series of activities for dads to engage in, because there haven't been tons of opportunities for fathers specifically to be welcomed into events recently anyway. And so I'm happy to do that. And I did. I learned a ton. I learned a lot from the fathers that were in the class, and it's been a great experience.
Well, I just want to say that the feedback on those participants was really great. And it was a great class. And we were super excited to be able to have you facilitate it and offer it in the community, because you're right, we did need something to be able to support the fathers in the community. And so this particular class was created for that purpose, just to be able to give them a space of their own to be able to talk about what parenting means to them. And it also supports skills for male nurturance, communicating, problem solving, balancing work, and fathering. So I think it's really important that we, just let them know that their voice is important, and that they have a space to be able to connect and talk about what fathering looks like for them.
Cool. And it looks like, to refresh my memory, that's starting in early September?
Yes. So the next class is September 1st. It is 5 classes, an hour and a half each class, and it ends September 29th. And Miles will be facilitating for us again.
Cool. And all these things are obviously free. And they're
Yes.
very low pressure. As long as you kind of show up once, as often as you can, it's just supposed to be a helpful thing.
Yes.
All right. So what else we have coming up?
So another class that's coming up, and I'm kind of listing them in the order that they're going to start for next quarter. After Nurturing Fathering, the next one that would start is Love and Logic. That is going to be offered in Spanish. And Love and Logic is to learn, it's really to make parenting fun, rewarding rather than stressful and chaotic. Learning how to have healthy, respectful relationships and raise children that are ready for the real world. It is a very good class. Tanya is facilitating that class. I'm sorry, I apologize. Paula is facilitating that class next quarter, and it starts September 9th and ends October 7th. After that is Circle Security. That is one of our longest classes. It is 8 classes. That starts October 4th and it ends November 22nd. Circle Security is relationship-based to support parents working towards secure attachment through observation and reflection with their children. And Tanya will be facilitating this class. Tanya is also one of our newer facilitators. So we're excited about that. She is bilingual. She has offered this Circle Security in Spanish. So that's awesome. And after that, we have the Nurturing Parenting Childbirth Prep classes. Those are 5, an hour and a half. Madrona Bordeaux is our facilitator for these classes. They start October 6th and end November 3rd. This class will give expectant mothers and couples strategies for approaching labor, supporting each other, and reducing stress to create better birth outcomes for their babies. We did have this class the first quarter, and it was very well received. It's always a very popular class because I think we're the only ones in the community who are offering it. And the group that actually took that class exchanged information and are now really connected. So that's something that I'm really excited about, and that I think that's one of the purposes of just taking these classes. Don't ever feel that they're only for those people who are struggling. It's a great opportunity to just connect with other parents in the community, learn new tools, and go out there and be able to talk about it, and maybe hopefully come across a family that might need the support and be able to connect them to the classes. The last class again for next quarter is EQ, and that's going to be on Tuesdays. 5 classes. October 12th is the beginning of it. November 9th is the last class, and that's facilitated by Molly for our next quarter. Our teen parent group, our facilitator for that class is Monica Trujillo. That is brand new to the community as well. We made sure to write that into our RFP for the next 4 years to support teen parents in the community to be able to have a space to come together and talk about, of course, the baby and the pregnancy if they're pregnant, but also, to the realization that these are still teens. So they are still, development and learning themselves, and how do they connect to each other and support each other, and learning ways to now become that parent and support the development and the needs of their baby. Another group, which I'm excited about, which has happened in the community, is the Grandparents Raising Grandchildren. And these two groups are just that. It's to be able to come together and be supported. There is no homework or workbooks that they are doing during these groups. It's just to be able to have a space for them to talk about what they're going through during this time, especially during COVID, and how things have really changed for them, and just being able to connect to other either teen parents or grandparents raising grandchildren in the community is such a big support in itself. So we're really excited to continue to offer these, and these groups happen monthly. So they're always open for new participants.
Cool. Well, they say, that when you have a child, it doesn't come with an instruction manual, and certainly everybody has their instincts and their cultural ways that they approach it. But sometimes it's good to have a little feedback, and hopefully these classes provide that for folks in a group setting. And it is cool to meet people from the community that you might not otherwise run into. So lots of information there. If people are interested in learning more about these classes once again, or in trying to get some help deciding which one to take, I imagine they'd reach out to you. Is that correct?
Yes. So my number here at the office is 575-751-8904. And I am in the office from Monday through Thursdays, 8:30 to 4:30. And then my email is C as in cat, Portillo, P as in Paul, ORTILLO, at taoshospital.org. And I can definitely tell them more about the classes, be able to, figure out what their needs look like, and put them in, the right direction.
Great. Well, thanks so much for your time, Christina, and all your work. And once again, your number there is 575-751-8904. You can also look up Taos Loves Kids on the internet or at pasotaos.org. Also on Instagram, Taos Loves Kids. So, yeah, thanks for all your work and supporting families, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Paso a Paso podcast.